So I started by applying a silicone-based foundation primer to the entire face using a flat foundation brush and not forgetting the under eye area as well. Before making a start on the eye makeup, I applied some concealer around the entire eye area. This works like a primer for under the eye makeup. Also, sometimes later on in the makeup it can be a bit difficult to get concealer right up to the eye makeup once it's finished. As an eye primer, I chose this SupraColor by Kryolan in a bronze colour. An emollient type base like this is great for anyone like myself who has drier eyelids. But if you have the tendency to get oily eyelids, I'd go for a drier base, something like the MAC Paint Pot or the Maybelline Colour Tattoo. Whichever base you use to suit your own skin, applying the eyeshadow over top when the base is still a little bit tacky or a little bit sticky before it sets will really grab onto the eyeshadow and make it stand out really strong and true to colour. Then moving on to the eyeshadow, I applied a yellow gold eyeshadow with a shimmer finish to the inner corner of my lids, and I blended this out using a lighter white gold colour. I lightly applied the same white gold colour to my brow bone underneath my brow arch. For my main eyeshadow colour, I'm actually using this mineralized blusher from the current MAC collection called Lavish Living. It's this gorgeous mauvey plum colour, which I find is way too strong for my own skin colour as a cheek colour, but works beautifully with my eye colour as an eyeshadow. So after pressing this over the base onto the entire lid, I started to buff it out using a blending brush into the crease line and slightly above the crease line as well. Using the tip of my eyeshadow brush, I applied some of the same colour underneath the lower lash line and continued to blend around the edge of the eyeshadow so there were no harsh edges. I applied a touch more of that yellow gold colour just to blend in with the mauve eyeshadow. And to soften all the edges, I used this extremely sheer, lovely lilac eyeshadow by Bourjois, and this just blows out the eyeshadow without adding too much colour. It gives a lovely smoky effect. To add drama to the corner of the eyes, I used this black matte Bourjois colour and started to pack it onto the outer corner of the upper lid. I used my blending brush to help fuse this in with the mauve eyeshadow and then applied a little bit more of the matte black to the very tip of the eyeshadow brush to blend it into the crease. Rather than black, I chose this dark plum coloured Kohl pencil for my waterlines. This is a Pro LongWear pencil by MAC, so it lasts quite long on the waterline, and I applied some to my upper waterline tight lining as well. And then to finish off the eyeshadow beneath the eye, I applied some of that matte black eyeshadow onto an angled brush and applied this right up to the base of my eyelashes underneath the lower lash line. For eyeliner, I chose my new favourite eyeliner, which is this lovely liquid eyeliner by Bourjois, and started to line my upper lids as well as applying a little bit of a flick onto the edge of the eye, extending it and really tapering the very tip of it. Next, I'm using another eyeliner, and this is the Liquid Crystal Liner by NYX, which is basically a black eyeliner that has silver glitter particles in it. And I applied this to the lower half of my eyeliner flick and brought it down to meet the lower lash line. And I also added a thin line extending down in a slight peak on the inner corner of my lower lash line. This just adds a lovely exotic look to the eyeliner. Then to finish off my eyes, I chose a volumizing mascara and applied plenty of this to both my top and bottom lashes. So once the eye makeup was finished, I moved back onto the skin and chose a medium coverage, medium buildable coverage foundation and applied this to my skin using the same flat brush from earlier on. When I'm using this type of brush, I like to apply the foundation in downward strokes first and then use the tip of the brush in a flicking motion to blend in the foundation. Next, I apply a creamy concealer to any areas that are still a little bit red or any blemishes that are shown through. I apply this roughly to the skin first and then use my brush and fingers to blend and buff it into the skin. Then to set my base, I applied a really silky smooth powder using a very fluffy brush and bounced this over the entire base. This makes sure that it really sets into the skin. And to perfect my under eye area, I applied the smallest bit of a light reflecting concealer onto the darkest inner corner area. For my eyebrows, I applied a medium toned brown eyeshadow with an angled brush and ran this through the eyebrow hairs. And I set the hairs in place using an eyebrow filler that has a slight tint to it to also add a little bit more richness to the eyebrows. For my bronzer, I chose a face powder that's several shades darker than my own face, and I applied this below my cheekbones to give a little bit of a contour as well as onto the very tip and sides of the end of my nose. So as the contour powder isn't too obvious on the skin, I like to go over this then again with my regular face powder just to help blend it in. I applied a delicate pink but pigmented shade of blusher to the apples of my cheeks and brought this up slightly onto the temples, and again went over it with my face powder to make sure it was blended well into the skin. I used the same gold and white gold eyeshadow from earlier on, applied this lightly to the top of my cheekbones as a highlight, and I applied a small bit down the centre of my nose as well. I blotted off any excess lip conditioner before applying some primer to my lips. And using a lovely rich plummy wine coloured lip pencil, I applied this to the entire lip area and perfected the outline before moving on to the lipstick. Then for my main lip colour, I chose Rebel by MAC. This is a stunning winey berry shade that is really, really rich and perfect for this time of the year for anyone who wants a pinky berry colour rather than the brighter pinks we usually use over the summer. And I applied this carefully to the lips before applying a really soft black Kohl pencil, using my brush again to the outer corner of the lips to give a little bit more depth. And that finished off the look. So I hope you liked this, guys. Thanks a million for watching and have a great Christmas. Chat to you soon. Slán!